Upon pondering the essence of shapes and the like, Descartes sought to further strengthen his argument for the existence of God. How does he do that? Whilst he is thinking about the concept of a triangle, he realises that there are qualities inseparable from a triangle, namely that it has 3 angles and its 3 angles are equal to 2 right angles. This is part of the essence of a triangle. Without these properties, it would not be a triangle. Yes. Now if we turn our attention to the idea of God, what is the essence of this concept? Well, it would be omnipotence, benevolence and omniscience. Exactly. Now Descartes refers to him as a supremely perfect being. Yes, I agree. So here is the interesting part. We have the concept of a supremely perfect being as a clear and distinct idea, and so existence must be part of the concept of perfection. How can something be perfect if it does not exist? Surely it would not be perfect. The only way to be perfect is to exist. So if the concept of God is that of a perfect being, and if the existence is part of perfection, then it would logically follow that God does exist. I see. This is known as a version of the ontological argument, and you can see the logic behind it. Just like 3 angles is part of the essence of a triangle, existence is part of the essence of God. If you are thinking of a triangle and it does not have 3 sides, you are not thinking of a triangle. And so if you have the concept of God, but you do not recognize that he exists, you are not thinking of a perfect being. And so you do not have the concept of God. The other example Descartes uses is that of mountains and valleys. If we have a concept of a mountain, it must logically follow that the mountain has a valley. So if we have a concept of God, it must follow that this being has existence. Okay, hold on. I could have an idea of a mountain with a valley, but there is nothing to say that that particular mountain and valley I'm imagining must exist. It does not follow that such a mountain is in existence. So I may have the concept of a perfect God, but it does not follow that this God must exist. You've missed the point slightly. What Descartes is saying is that if you have a concept of a mountain, it is necessary that the valley should follow. So if such and such mountain existed, the valley would have to exist as it is part of the concept. The mountain and the valley cannot be separated from each other. Yeah, I agree. However, with God, the concept is of perfection, and perfection needs existence. So if God is the mountain, existence would be the valley, and so existence is part of the concept of a perfect being, meaning that God exists. A supremely perfect being and existence cannot be separated from each other. Well, what if we do not even possess the idea of God? What if we never pondered the concept of God or of a perfect being at all? If the concept does not exist, would it not mean that the existence dies with the concept? I would not agree. Descartes in fact says whenever we think of a greater being than us, we will eventually reach the concept of God. Humans have this innate idea of a supremely perfect being. We have always had it. We have pondered for the entirety of our human civilization. But it could be possible that one day we lose the concept completely. Should we imagine this happening, would it mean the existence of God disappears along with the concept? I don't think that could ever happen. But even so, let me ask you. Imagine we never thought of or came across the concept of a triangle. Just because no one had ever conceived of a triangle, does it mean that a triangle no longer has 3 angles? Well, no. Exactly. So even if we never had the concept of God, it does not mean his existence would cease. Okay, fine, but there is still a major problem here. This is Descartes' version of the ontological argument, and as such it faces the problems of the ontological argument. We have done a whole video on this and we saw the problems that arise, the major one being raised by Immanuel Kant, who argued that the ontological argument fails because it uses existence as a predicate, and this is a categorical mistake. If you recall, when we have a concept of something, it is made up of predicates. Let's take the concept of a unicorn. We have this concept and the predicates are that it's white, it has the body of a horse, and it has a horn on its head. Existence, however, is not a predicate. It adds nothing new to the concept of a unicorn. Whether the unicorn exists or not, the concept is the same. Existence is not part of the concept. I see. So this is the same with God. We have a concept of God, but existence cannot be part of this concept as it is not a predicate. We cannot define God into existence. So if existence is not part of the concept, it means we need to go beyond the concept to prove existence. Existence then is external to the concept and not part of it. Good point.